Yeah. So today we'll discuss about like in incident management. Write it down. Incident management. Incident management. Keep the subheading as incident. Incident. Write it down. An incident is an incident is an unplanned interruption. Unplanned interruption or or reduction in quality of your reduction in an quality of an IT service. IT service. Full stop. Full stop. Next, failure of a configuration item. Failure of a configuration item, which is nothing but assert. CI is nothing but configuration item. You can just go ahead with like in devices, servers, or anything. Failure of a configuration item that hasn't yet had an impact that hasn't yet had an impact on a service is considered as incident. Repeat again. Failure of a configuration item that hasn't yet had an impact on a service is considered as incident. Is considered as incident. Full stop. Next, write it down. Keep the subheading as problem. Problem and write it down. Problem is a cause of one or two or else one or more incidents. One or more incidents, comma, comma. The cause is not usually known at the time. The cause isn't or is not usually known at the time the problem record is created. The problem record is created. Full stop. Full stop. Continue in the same line. The problem management process is responsible for investigation. The problem management process is responsible for investigation. Full stop. I'll repeat again. The problem is a cause of one or more incidents, comma, the cause is not usually known at the time the problem record is created. The problem management process is responsible for investigation. Are you guys audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Priyanka.
Okay. Fine. Next, keep the heading as change. Change. Write it down. A change is an addition, comma, modification, or removal of anything, removal of anything removal of anything that could affect that could affect IT services full stop. This may include IT services comma CI comma processes comma documentation and other related element full stop. I'll repeat again. A change is an addition, comma, modification or removal of anything that could affect IT services, full stop. This may include IT services, CI. CI is nothing but configuration item, processes, documentation, and other related elements. Full stop. Full stop. Next, the last one, write it down. Request, or we call it as a service request. Request. Write it down. A service request is a request from a user information. A service request from a user for information comma advice comma access to an IT service such as requesting asserts, comma, services, comma, applications, applications, comma, hardware or software, etc. Hardware or software, etc. Hardware or software, etc. Okay. So now let us discuss what is incident, problem, change, and request, and then we'll discuss how we are going to create these records and when what kind of scenarios which we can price an incident. Okay, how many ways are they to create it? And we'll discuss about like an incident life cycle. Okay, and then we'll go with like in problem, how the stages will be change and request as well. Okay, so without wasting our
Ma'am,
yes.
could you repeat a problem sentence once again?
Okay, sure. The problem is a cause of one or more incidents. The cause is not usually known at the time the problem record is created. Full stop. The problem management process is responsible for investigation. So this is a sentence actually. So do I need to go with the slow? Then I'll go. Is this for like in just to rectify? Then this is fine, I guess. Shall I go slowly?
No, ma'am, no, that's not. Ma'am.
Okay. Done. Okay. So now let's go with like in what is incident first. So we are using incident table from like a starting day. So as it is like in very familiar to us. Okay. So which I can say incident is a event of interruption or disruption or any kind of degradations in normal service operations, then we can call it as a incident. So this open incident in service now, which implies that like an customer is impacted or it reflects represents the business risk. So in simply which I can say, whenever I'm doing like in normal service operations. Okay, so let's say example, I'm working with like in my project and I cannot do that. So due to one issue got rise. That's not a my project related developing kind of thing. It's regarding like an IT services. Okay, so any unplanned interruptions happen and there is like an inequality reduced in like an IT services. Okay, so any disruptions or degradations happening in my normal service operation, then we are going to rise a incident. So let me give an example. And so there is a one laptop which they have provided to me. The organization provided me like in one assert which is called laptop. Okay, so whenever I'm trying to log in with that, so I'm not able to log in with that specific application. Let's say Outlook. So whenever I'm trying to giving like in the password and then you username for that, so this is not coming up. Okay, so even though I'm giving like incorrect password and user ID, still that is an issue. I cannot go forward to work with like in my normal project. So then what we can do, we can raise a incident and then respective IT team will be like in working on a issue and they are going to resolve our issues over here. So they will work with like in your thing and they will activate your account and then your work will be normal. Then you can go ahead with like in your project. So that's what. So this is one thing. And let me go with like in one more example. And then I have a VPN. So the VPN is not working even though I'm connecting with like in proper access with the proper steps which I'm trying up, but still I'm not able to connect the VPN. Okay, so then also we can raise an incident and then respective team will work on your issue and then they are going to resolve your issue. So here, see, let's say you're not able to open the laptop as well. Let's say example. Okay, so you cannot rise from your side. The self-service is not available. So your colleague or your team lead or anyone can rise in behalf of you as well. So somehow which you can clear your issue. Okay, so incident is simply just it is an event of any interruptions or any disturbances happening for like an our normal work. So then we are going to raise a incident. So simply whenever we got an issue, we are going to complain the issue to respective team to get our issue to be resolved, right? So that's what which you are going to raise an incident and respect to team. Maybe like an if you are issue regarding like in software applications, then software team will work on. If your issue is regarding like an hardware thing, your laptop got crashed or your hard disk is not working or CPU is not working, then hardware team will come and work on that. So those kind of stuff which we will take care of. Okay, so as a developers, what we are gonna do, we are going to create a good platform to the users. Okay, so they will utilize the platform and they will work on. Okay, so that's what about like an incident. Now let's go with like in the problem. So problem is something, let's say, let me go with like in the same example. So the VPN issue which I'm having and the same issue which having to my colleague as well. Okay, or else, let's say I came and then I logged in today and I'm not getting a proper network. And then again, after me, after a few seconds, my colleagues also came, and from them also they're having the same issue. So the problem is something a cause of one or more incidents. Incident is something one individual issue, right? One unique person, one specific person issue. Okay, so this specific incident we have like for like in one issue. So whereas if the same issue having a multiple users with the same category with the same kind of problem or issue having for multiple users, then we will consider it as a problem cause of one or more incidents with the same category, or else simply you can define it as like this. So the problem is something with the same kind of category issue having for a multiple users is nothing but problem. Okay, so incidents, let's say I have created incident and my colleague has created incident and some other also created incident. But the respective team will work with like in the same issue and they will merge all the incidents and they will create one problem and they will investigate the issue and they will resolve the problem. If the problem is resolved, then all the individual incidents also resolved. Okay, so that's how which we will go with like in this problem management process is something which we are going to investigate and they will work on. Let's say example, investigation is nothing but let me give like a normal example here. So network issue is happening for everyone. So the router might be damaged or else the wire might be cut or else something else should be like and they just need to verify that. So the investigation should happen. What was the reason for the issue, they will check it up and they will fix the issue. That's what about like in they are going to work with. So they will investigate it and they will fix the issue and they will resolve it later. If one problem is resolved and then the under the problem we do have like in multiples like in few incidents as well sometimes and that also will be resolved. Okay, so problem is something simply which we are going to create a problem with the same kind of issue having for a multiple users. Okay, now let's go with like a change. So change is something, let's say the same example, the router thing. So router is not working and it got fully damaged. So they just need a replacement or change of a device, right? So in we can simply say we are going to add something or we are going to modify something or we are going to remove something for anything that could affect IT services. So IT services is something whatever the things which we are going to get a services from a organization or applications from like in all these things, then we are going to work with these things and we are going to resolve it. Okay, so this includes like in IT services, configuration items and documentations we have, and other related things also we do have. Let's say there is a server got down and we are going to reduce, or else which we are going to work with like in servers, let's say. Okay, so the server is not working and the server we need to change it or replace it. So that is something which budget kind of stuff also which we need to check it up. So we just need to get an approval from respective team and respective person as well sometimes. Okay, I need to work with that and we are just need to clear the issue of that server. So directly which we can do, which we cannot do directly to change the parts or else to change the devices internally. Okay, all these things. There is like in few approval kind of stuff and the meeting should go on and all the things will happen to change something. That's what we do, how like in one change as well. Okay, change record to be created if I want to change something or else I need to replace something, then the process will go on. And if that is resolved, then the problem and the incident also resolved simultaneously. Okay, so that's how the change is. So change is something whenever any kind of change or else replacement or any kind of removal should be happen for specific thing regarding according to like in the change created, and they are going to discuss according to that whether that is appropriate or not, whether that is like in really important. They'll discuss and they will resolve the change, they will replace it. Okay, so that's how about like in change is something which we do that. Okay, and then service request. So service request is something I already showed you in a demo class, that requesting something. We have a request something in service portal, right? I'll show you that. So from there we are going to get the informations. We'll get like an advisors if you want any suggestions regarding like in our project or organization kind of related things. Okay, and if you want any access regarding like an IT services, or if you want to order something, maybe like a laptop, or you need to get like an applications to be installed. Okay, so all these things which we are going to request to the respective team here, organization, whatever the things is like an was there. Okay, so the facilities or whatever the things which needs to be done for a smoother project work. Okay, so that those things and all which we can request. Let's say there is an application which I'm using for like in my project, and I just need to change the password, or else I just need to change something over there. Okay, so I can request. Okay, so the request will be like can send to the respective team and they will work on that. If it is like inappropriate, they will provide you, or else they will inform you like this is the reason that we cannot provide you the access or password change or something else. They will inform you and they will close the request. Okay, so in request, whenever I create a request, okay, RATM will be generated. RATM is nothing but request item, and if then someone should approve that, if it is like an approved, then IC task will be generated and the support team or service providing team will work on the SC task and they are going to resolve the issue. If that is resolved, and whatever the access which we are requesting, okay, that will be done. That will be like an access is like an done actually. So we will get like an all the access whatever which we request, not only access whatever which we requested from there from our end, that will be like an done. Okay, so this is about like in how what's incident and what's problem change and request. Okay, so now let us discuss when incident is raised, when we are going to rise a incident. So if you want to note it, you can note it as well, or else listen carefully. Okay, the first thing, whenever, let's say I told you a few examples already. Okay, so first thing which I can say, when server is down. So whenever the servers is down, we can rise a incident. Server down is nothing but the server is not working. Okay, and the next thing, while error while using applications. Let's say I'm using one of specific application of my project and I'm getting a error over there. Maybe they will be like in few pop-ups, right? The username is not working, the password is invalid, or else if in checking on like in anything, if I click on specific buttons, that's not coming up, and another error box is like in coming up. So those kind of errors when we are using applications, then we can raise a incident. Another thing is like in which we can use, I'm not able to access the folders or drives or something. So in our projects, they are going to provide you documentation for each and every requirement, and they will provide you access for those. Okay, so even though if they have provided the access for you and you are trying to access that, but still you are not able to open those folders or you're not able to access the drive, then you can raise an incident. And there is a software development fails as well. Let's say if there is any application and the software is like not working. Okay, then you can go ahead. And the next thing is like an hardware crashed. So if any hardware got crashed, let's say I'm working with like in my desktop and the system is not working, the CPU got crashed or my keyboard is not working. So anything, if I got any issues, then I can raise a incident. And then I'm not able to access my Outlook, VPN, all this we all discussed already. So these things, not only these things, these are the few specific things which comes for like an every time frequently. Okay, so these are the few things, and we can go with like a few more stuff as well whenever any services or is any operations which is not going in a smoother way. Okay, if there is something else disturbance happening for us, then you can raise an incident. Okay, so these are the ways. First is like in server is down, an error while using application, and I'm not able to access a folder or drive, and software development also not working. Okay, that's got failed, and hardware also crashed, and not able to access Outlook or VPN or any applications. Okay, so these are the ways when incident is raised is nothing but these things which we can define or tell them. Okay. So now let us focus about like in how many ways are there to create incident. Okay, so let me show you that. Just go to like in your instance, and we do have like in few ways. One is like in self-service by using like in by our instance only ServiceNow tool, and then there is the monitoring tool as well. Okay, through monitoring team we can, and through inbound email actions we can. Okay, through service portal we can. So we do have like a multiple. Okay, so let me. Yeah. So now see, let me go with like in self-service first. Okay. So I'm going to navigate to like in service portal. So to navigate service portal, okay, you can type service portal and click on like in service portal home. Okay, or else in your URL after servicenow.com/ just view SP. SP is nothing but service portal. These and these is both are same. Okay, so let's navigate to like over to the service portal. This is a service portal actually. The self service is something. Okay, so here you can type. Okay, let's say example, I need to rise incident. Okay, and click on enter. Okay, the related things will come up. So Salesforce automation. In a search bar here, you can go ahead with like and create incident. Okay, so here see we have a create incident. Okay, so create an incident record to report and request assistance with an issue you are having. Okay, so we do have like a few more as well. So in this search results, we have this create incident. So click on this create incident and you can create a incident. Or else this is one way, and one more thing is like in the same thing which will go ahead, just go to home. And here say we have a request something, and here also you can check it. And here we have see whenever we are discussing about like a service portal, we'll discuss all this. We do have like in all these categories. Okay, business application, lifecycle management, how can we help you, department services, hardware, office, peripherals, quick links, role delegation, okay, software and standard changes. Okay, so these are the services which we can request or else which we can get an access for these. Okay, so these are the services which we can get from the team. Okay, so how to create the incident is nothing but just click on create incident, and here say here just give like an urgency how much urgency is like in for you. So just the urgency is like in very high for me, so that's how which I have given like in high here. And here see please describe your issue below, so you can describe your issue. Let's say example, network issue, network issue happening for me. Okay, so now you will get like in related results as well for that. If there is any articles available for you, yeah, based on like an year issue, you can open and you can resolve from your end as well. If still the team should work on your issue, then you click on submit, and then incident is created. So now it's like in loading, and the incident is created with the this one 0014 is the incident, and who raised it and what's the issue, and then what's the urgency over here. Okay, so when it is created, when updated, and what is the state for this. The state is new because it's a new incident which we created. And here if I want to add any comments, okay, so please resolve it as soon as possible. Okay, click on post and it will be added into the as a additional comments in a incident. So let's open this incident. Okay, so you can go to incident table and you can click on keep this as like in a search of incident number, or else you can directly go to Google global search and you can go ahead. Okay, so this is the one which I have created. See, network issues here. And in additional comments I have added, please resolve it as soon as possible. So even that also added. So when it is added, so just now. Okay, so that's how which we create incident from here actually. Okay, so here see the channel is like in self-service. That's what I told you. Self-service is something which we work with like in service portal. So which we can create incident and that can be resolved. And the rest of the things, so assignment group will come up and assign to will like an assign, and the assigned to person will work on this issue. Okay, and they will resolve the issue according to the issue. So whatever the issue might be, so they will check on the issue and they will go ahead with the process. Okay, so this is what one thing which we can create an incident, and then the next thing is like an we have a incidents, right? So this is what something we will go with the ServiceNow tool. Okay, so you can create, click on like and create new, or this is what one of a way which you can give like in all the details. Let's say, yeah, column who is affecting. It's me only, so I have given this. So I can give like in all the values as well, and then here need help let's say I have given like a category as inquiry or help. Okay, whenever I have given a short description, depending on that, related search also will come up. Okay, so what kind of help it is? Request reset password or else any enrollment or platform securities, right? The things will come up if you want to go with like an articles or else any kind of catalog items and everything, which you will check it out. Okay, so this is regarding like in this will be available for a ITL user and a admin user. Okay, let's say I just got a call and I just need to create an instant behalf of that person. Okay, so here see there is a channel which they can raise an incident by using chat or by can email us or else they can call us or self-service as well, virtual agent as well and walking. Virtual agent is nothing but the chat which will be there in our service portal. Okay, so these are the ways which we can create a incident, and after giving like in all the values just save the form or submit the form and this will be created. Okay, so that's how which we are going to do this. One is like in service self service, another thing is like in sub by service no tool only we can go ahead. Okay, and one more thing is like in so this is what create incident is something we call it as a record producer. So how we are going to add these fields and how we are going to, if let's say if I want to add like in few more fields as well. Okay, just like this, I just need to add a category. Okay, I just need to go with like a short description. So if the requirement is something more than this, then we can create a record producer and we can go ahead. By default, this is the one which is available in out of the box. Okay, so which we go and create a incident. If I want to add few more, I just need to change that urgency to like in priority, or else I just need to change it to like an priority to impact, or else I just need to go with like in please describe your issue below, and before below that I can try with like in some other stuff. Okay, so, that way which I can add anything and will go according to like in requirement, and those things is like in implemented and that will be available. But these things which we will discuss in the next classes, we have a record producer concept. Okay, so there we are going to implement that, how we are going to do all this. Okay, each and every option or question which is available over here is, we call it as a variable. Okay, so that we'll discuss later. So as of now, just focus on like in this is what a self-service which we will do it. Okay, so the next thing is like in we can do by using like an integrations as well. So we do have like in monitoring tools, let's say example. Okay, so integrations is something communicating with the applications or devices. Okay, so from other devices or other applications or servers. Okay, so which we can create an instance as well. Okay, so automatically open by like a monitoring tool or else through monitoring team also we can go ahead. Okay, and through emails also which we can create a incident. That's what we can call it as the inbound email actions too. Okay, so if I send any email, okay, that will be created as an incident. Okay, so let me show you that too as well. So just go with like an Yamail. So here just focus on like in one thing. The subject, whatever which I'm giving in email, will take it as a short description. Okay. And the next thing is like in the body, whatever which I'm writing over there, will take it as a additional comments in incidents. Okay. So now let's get started with that. And this I'm going to showcase in like a notifications as well. Just need to get a mail is like a not coming up over there now. Let me try. Through by using like an inbound, or else I'll show you here. inbound email actions. See here we do have like an inbound email flows. Okay, so by utilizing this as well, which we can create a incident. Whenever we receive like an incident, whenever we receive like in mails, and based on that information, which we can go ahead. Okay, so in notification concept, which I'm gonna show you this anyhow. Just give me a second. Already the mail is there, I guess. Let me verify. Yeah, this is a new incident, I guess. So whenever mail is sent, okay, so from there we can create a incident as well. Okay, we'll see later then. Anyhow, I'm going to showcase that in a notification concepts. Okay. So yeah, so one more thing is like in through integrations, which we will go ahead with like in creating a incidents. That is like in monitoring tool. Let's say example, that is application which the issues is like in happening, or else there is like in monitoring tool, lot of servers are there, and then those servers are like which is not working on. So those things is like in coming down. The servers are not working. Okay, so whenever the each server is like in coming down, it's like in it's not working, then one automatically one alert will generate it. So whenever the alert is generated in the third party application, so now the incident is created in our in our service now as well. So that's how which we will integrate with the third party applications, and we will create a incidents. Okay, so that's how which will work with like in four ways are there to create a instance. One is like in self-service by using like in ServiceNow tool. Okay, one more thing is like in through emails, and for by using like in monitoring tool as well. Okay, so now let's go into like in what is incident, how the incident form looks like, and each and every field which we will discuss. Okay, and we'll go with like a life cycle of a incident. Okay, so let me click on like a new. Yeah. So here, see, let us go with like an each and every option over here, the field over here. Then I'll go with the what after creating an incident. So what's the process and how the team will work on this, and we'll discuss on that. Okay. So now see, this is a number. We are already know about this. This is a in queue number which will be generated automatically. Okay, whenever we click on new button. This is a caller. So caller is something the person who reported or is affected by this incident. So who is affecting? Who writes the issue? So, or else who is the person who having a that specific issue? Whatever the issue might be, like in maybe hardware or software or network or anything. So depending on like an issue, so this will come up. Okay, and then here the category. So in which category your issue belongs to, which is like an inquiry or help, it's like in software or hardware or network or database, anything. Let's say it is like a software issue. And then there is a subcategory as well. So which having a email and operating system. So category we do have like in software. In that we do have like a subcategory. Okay, so the subcategory which you will go ahead. Okay, and the service. So what kind of service it is? So here we do have like in different services. Okay, so Outlook or IT services or retail services, or else any implementation kind of services, or else networking services, whatever it might be. So which we will select the services type over here. Okay, and service offering. So what kind of service which we are offering to them? Okay, so that we are going to offering table, it will be redirected to. Okay, and configuration item. So configuration item is something, let's say my server got down, or else there is like in one CI which is affected. Okay, then I can, let's say my computer device is like in my Lenovo is not working. Okay, so I can select that specific one. And each and every user uh, device details will be like in uploaded, and then that will be there in a CI or is a table. Okay, so we can check that and we can go ahead. If it is like in servers, and the servers, each and every server has a specific name with a different serial number and part number, we can utilize that. Okay, and the short description is nothing but what you are describing your issue in a shorter way. And then here you can elaborate your issue. Let's say the hardware device issue I have mentioned over here, and in description I can elaborate my issue, what happened, and what's the whenever I click on this one, this is what coming up, and all these things which I can describe over here in description field. And if I want to add any attachments or something, let's say my hardware got crashed, my CPU is broken. Okay, so I can take a picture of that and I can upload it as well in attachments. Okay, it will be go to like in choose files, it will go to like in my local machine uh things, and it will come up. Okay, and then next, if I go with like in the right side thing, the channel. So how many ways are there, or else in which kind of channel which you have interacted to raise an issue? It's like in chat or email or self-service or anything which you can try. Okay, and the state. So what's the state of this specific incident? So as of now, it's like a new state, and we do have like an improved risk, on hold, resolve, close, and cancel. So I'll discuss this as well within a few minutes. Okay, and the impact, urgency, and priority. So already we know these three when we are discussing about like an priority lookup rules. So impact is nothing but how potential the damage is, how potential the damage happened to you, or is there's a severity of the damage happened for you. Okay, and then urgency is nothing but how soon the instance can be resolved. Okay, according to the impact happening for your business. Okay, so you can go with like in high, medium, and low. Okay, and then priority is nothing but based on like in these two combinations, it will take a priority by default. Automatically, it will come up. Okay, and assignment group and assign to already we know about it. Assignment group is something which team is going to work on your issue. Okay, and assign to is nothing but which person, who is that specific person is working on your issue. So if let's say if I select like an any user, okay, Arya. So this Arya is the person who is handling your issue. He is the person who is working on your issue, whatever the issue might be. So whoever having like an assigned to is like an other specific person. Okay, so then that's the person is working on that issue. Okay, and if I scroll down, see here there is a related search as well. Okay, so related search results is nothing but, so based on my issue, let's say example, password reset will be like, perfect here. So if there is like an password reset, okay, the password reset related stuff will come up. Just for like in our understanding purpose, which we go ahead with like in all the applications and we can check it out. Okay, so how we are going to go ahead. So if this is not helpful, then you can go with like an articles, and you can go with like a, let's say, knowledge articles if I go ahead. Okay, so how do I create and delete users? This is one of an article which is available. The step-by-step process is there and you can go ahead. So this is a creating process and this is a delete process. So you can resolve the issue from your end too by utilizing this results. If this is not helpful, then you can approach like in your own way and you can go ahead. As it is like in while creating, this is not helpful, you can go with the submitting an incident. If your issue is like in resolving by using these articles only, that's fine. Here, creating an incident will be reduced if you go with like in these things. Okay, so this is what one thing about like unrelated search results as well. If I scroll down, see here I have a notes, related records and resolution information. So notes is something, here we have a watch list, watch notes list, and then additional comments and work notes. Let me go with one by one. Watch list is nothing but if I add any additional comments or work notes or something else, someone needs to get a notifications in a CC. Just like in CC, it will be added. Let's say if I add any user over here, okay, so if I add additional comment or work notes, okay, so anyhow the additional comments whatever which I have added will be sent to the customer as well, customer visible. So as I showed you before, there is a in self-service we do have like in comments which I have posted, right? I clicked on like in post there. So whenever they have clicked on that, so here additional comments will is like an added. In the same way, if I want to communicate to the customer or else the customer visible, right, the additional field, additional comments field, I whatever which I have typed over here will be sent as an email to the caller, whoever the caller might be. Okay, so here these updates, whatever, let's say I'm communicating with the caller and someone needs to monitor this, maybe my TL or manager or respective person. Okay, so I can add the watch list over here and that will work as well. So just check on like an any user. Okay, and lock it, and that will be available in a watch list. Whatever the updates are there regarding the specific incident will be sent as a CC, the mail sent as a CC to the person, sent as a and as a person as a CC. Okay, and then work notes list as well. So this is for like in the additional comments, and for this also you can go and you can add a person and the updates will be sent to that specific person as well. Not only you and the caller, the in between you can add someone as well to monitor.
Priyanka,
Usually,
here can
yeah.
can we add groups as well, or only users can be added?
It's a different stuff which we can go with like an only users. Okay, so here I
Oh,
can add me to only the users or else the mail IDs which we can add, not the group.
okay, fine.
Good question. Okay, and then the additional comments is something which we can communicate with the caller and me. So like whatever the things which I have entered over here, and if I click on like and save or post, that will be sent to the caller as well as a mail. And then in work notes is something. If I want to add some any comments or else any work related notes over there, okay, then I can go ahead. Okay, let's say example, I have send something over here to the additional comments. Okay, that is like in send and the mail also generated to him. Okay, so to keep this in hold to get a until to get the response from the caller, then I can add some notes over here. Okay, so I have sent the request to the caller and we are just waiting for the caller response, and whenever we get the response from the user, then we will process the issue. So these kind of work notes which we can add and we can save and update this. Okay, so this is regarding like an additional comments and work notes. And let me go with like an related records. Okay, so I told you right, this incident, problem, change, and everything is like an interlinked, not the request, problem, and change. So if there is like any parent instant is available for this, then I can go with the parent instant. Or else if there is like any problem or change request or anything caused by change, all these things which I can in if there is like anything related to this stuff, then I can add these things and can go ahead. Okay, and the next thing there is like in resolution information. So whenever I'm going to resolve the issue, okay, the issue, whatever the things is like an available here, okay, I just need to fill this one. So this knowledge is nothing but the resolution, whatever which I have provided to the user. Okay, so if I want to create an article of the steps whatever which I did and all these things and all, then I can check on this one. Okay, and the resolution information whatever which I have given here, the notes and everything will be created as an article. Okay, so the notes, let's say here I have added like in 5 lines the process or the resolution process whatever which I have done for this, and that will be created as in one specific article. And in future, if there is like an any same kind of issue happen for anything, anyone, okay, so let's say example password reset, I didn't get like in any response over here, proper response, and then the respective assigned to person will worked on, and this is created as a no article later, and this article will be remind for the next users to resolve the issue from there and only, because we do have like in related search results as we do have a knowledge article over there. Okay, so they can refer the note or else the resolution notes available whatever which is there in the article, and they will follow the process and they will resolve by their own. If it is possible, they'll do, or else they will raise a incident. So this is what something which we are trying to reduce the creation of incidents, and they can selfly they can clear the issues by their self, they can clear the issues. That's what we will click on in knowledge, and we will create in articles. Okay, so this also which we worked on in knowledge management project which I was working before. Okay, and let me go with like in resolution note. So here, see, there is a, if there is any duplicate ticket is like an rise. Let's say I have created one password reset now, and later I find there is no response from you for 2 to 3 hours, and I felt to create one more, and that is a duplicate. So duplicate, and we can make it as a duplicate, and we can resolve it. And there is like an non-error and no resolution provided, resolved by caller itself, and resolved by change problem request. I told you, right? There is like an individual, one problem is like an created, and the individual incidents also will be resolved. That's what we are going to give a resolution code as resolved by change or problem. We'll give it resolved by request, solution provided. If it is like a single incident, then we'll go with the if we provide a proper resolution, then we will select this. Okay, and then workaround provided and user error. So these things which we will set up, and then who is a resolve by, who is going to resolve this, and when they are resolved it. Okay, what kind of resolution which have provided, we are going to give over here, and we are going to submit it. Okay, so that's how the things will come up. So this is a new record, right? Let's say example, if I save the record, let's say, let me give any value over here, and if I save the record, I'll get like in few more fields as well. So if I scroll down, see, in related list and related list, I have like in these things: task SLA, affected CIs, impacted CIs, and child incidents. Okay, so if it is like an, if I act it as like an parent incident, okay, if I make it as like an any parent incident, then this will act as a child incident, right? In that way, if there is like an any child instance, and that will be displayed over here, or else I can add from here as well by clicking on edit. And if there is like an any impacted CIs, CI is nothing but configuration items, right? There is like an anything, then I can display the CIs over here, and there is like an affected CIs as well. Okay, and then task SLA. So SLA is nothing but service level agreement. So there is a certain amount of time to resolve the issues as well. So that we'll discuss in other later, some other day. SLA concept we do have. Okay, SLA is something, this is an agreement between like a caller and the assigned to person, how much of time which they are taking to resolve the issue. So there is like an SLAs breaching and all the things of which we will take care of, and that we'll discuss later. Okay, so these things will be like an available. Okay, so most probably, so if you are good with like in the incident, so you can navigate to like in problem and change and everything as well. And please bear me for like in few 10 more minutes. I'm gonna close this one as it is like a 9:36. I know 6 minutes is like an overtimed. Just give me like in 10 more minutes to finish the concept, guys. Please bear with me. Okay, now the state is something which we just need to check on. So the life cycle of a incident will go ahead. So see, we have a new, already we know it. New is something whenever the incident is created. Okay, the next thing in progress. So incident is created and someone needs to work on this, right? So whenever the process is going on, whenever the issue is like and someone is working on this issue, then the state will be in progress. Okay, we are going to change the state and need to update it, or else we can save it. Okay, so whenever I'm working on this and I just got a I just got to know about like in the um, certain information which I just need to get from a caller. Let's say example hardware issue happened, but they didn't provided me like a proper part number or serial number or else the image of that specific damage happened, all these things that I can request to the caller by adding on to like an additional comments here. See, there is a work notes and additional comments over here. If I want to add like an additional comments, then we need to check on this one. If it is like in work notes, and we need to uncheck this. Okay, let's say it is like in additional comments. So please provide damaged device screenshot or image or picture or anything. Okay, so if I click on like in post or if I save the forms, okay, so this will be sent to the respective person as a email and they will work on it. So there is an SLA which I told you, right? If there's a certain amount of time is there to resolve the issue, depending on like an priority or depending on like an condition, it will trigger actually. So I just want to keep this in a hold. Okay, so there is a whole reason as well, a waiting caller. So I'm waiting from a caller to get a screenshot of the damaged device. Okay, so this is not something which we go with like an on hold. So this incident is in on hold, and the reason for this is like an waiting from a caller. So whenever I get a response from a caller, then what I'll do, I'll change into like an in progress and I'll work on this. Let's say a work is done and the issue also resolved. Okay, so now I just need to move to like an resolve state and scroll down, and here I need to provide this information. So these two are mandatory. So I have provided the solution for that. And then I will go ahead with like in what I did. So solution notes. As of now, I'm giving like it as a testing. Okay, so now save the form. So these state thing, the life cycle, instant life cycle is something which service providing team or else I'm working in a service project, support project. Okay, so then I'm going to work with all these things. As a developers, we are going to implement these kind of stuff. Let's say example, caller is asking whenever the state is like in resolved. Okay, so not only these things, I just need another field as well. Okay, so comments or feedback or from the caller and all these things. Let's say example, depending on requirement, it will change. Okay, so those things which I will implement it. Okay, so that's how it will be. And after this is like in resolved. Okay, if it is like in resolved, we do have one mail is sent to the caller as your issue is like in resolved. Okay, so your feedback is required. Let's say example, I have got a network issue, and then I need to check that as well, right? They said they cleared the issue, they have resolved the issue, but anyhow I need to check from my end, and I just need to check from my end, and I just need to inform that yes, the issue is cleared. So if they are giving like a proper assistance, or if, the word that giving a word that yes, the issue is like and resolved, you can close the ticket. Okay, then we are going to close the ticket. So whenever if I close the ticket, okay, so this cannot be reopened. Just remember this thing. So see, I cannot reopen, I cannot edit these values whenever I close the ticket. And whenever I cancel the ticket as well. Let's say example, if I open the instance, if I cancel the ticket or if I close the ticket, I cannot reopen the incident again. Okay, so let me fill the mandatory fields. And if I cancel it by giving like an appropriate work notes, why I cancel this and all, I'm gonna give it and then save it. Even this also I cannot reopen. If the incident state is like an in progress or resolved or new, then we can reopen multiple times. Okay, if it is like in closed and cancelled, I cannot reopen. If the person having the same issue in future, he need to come up with like a new incident, but he cannot reopen the issue if the incident is closed or cancelled. If it is like in resolved, and let's say the network issue is like in now it's working for him, and he was telling like in just I need to wait for like in few more hours or few more days, 2 to 3 days as well, I need to check it. If still it is working, then you can close the ticket, or else just you will work on the issue they'll say. So then we will keep it as a resolved state only. If the caller come back tomorrow or day after tomorrow saying that the issue is still there, then we will move the incident as like an in progress and will work again. Okay, so if the caller saying that if it is like in all done and it is like in resolved, and if he say that the call we can close the ticket, if we close the ticket, then we cannot reopen the ticket again. Okay, so that's how which we work with like in the life cycle. So what is instant and how we are going to create a problem change and request as well. And when instant is like an raised, how many ways are there, scenarios are there, and then how many ways are there to create an incident. So that's how which we discuss, right? So now just bear me like in only 5 minutes from now. Now we'll go with like in problem, how that looks like. So this life cycle also which we just need to know, right? So here we do have like in the stage, the state which we have seen new, we have access and root cause analysis, fixing progress, resolved and closed. And if I scroll down, see here the incidents which I can add on. If there is like in 4 to 5 individual incidences like in created as problem, and here we can check it out how many incidents are there and what are the incidents as well which we can check it out. Okay, and here see, I'll explain these things. So new is nothing but whenever problem is created as a new one. Okay, access is something they are going to evaluate the issue. What is the issue and the everything which they are going to evaluating the issue. And the next thing is like a root cause analysis. So after evaluating the issue, they will find out what's the proper cause or what's the root cause and root cause of that specific issue. So they will analyze the issue and they will fix the issue and they will resolve it, and then later they will close it. Okay, so that's how it will be the stages. And here we are going to click on like in the button instead of like in checking over here one by one. So that's what about like in the problem. If I go to the change, okay, so if I go back to like in change, okay, so if I go back to like in, this is a change, right? If I go to create new, So change we do have like in three types actually: normal change, standard change, and emergency change. Normal change is something the new changes came up, then it is a normal change. The standard change is something which every time the same change come again and again. So then for those approvals is not required, that is a standard change. And the emergency change is something which we just need to resolve the change as soon as possible. Okay, so that's how which will go ahead. Okay, so as soon as possible, which we just need to clear the issue. So here we can skip few of approvals as well, few kind of schedules, or else we do have like an see here the state is like in first is like an evaluating through access, and authorizing is nothing but there is approvals for respective stuff. Okay, and that should be like in schedule, and then you need to discuss it, and after discussing according to the outcome of that, they will implement it, and then they'll review it, and I will close it. Okay, so that's how which they will go ahead with like in one by one. So changes something, there is an emergency as well, right? So emergency changes something, so we can skip few of his things and directly we can go get only single approval from any of our respective higher authority person, and then we can implement directly and we can review it and we can resolve. Okay, so that's how which we will go with like in incident, problem, and change. And that is like in request as well, right? Let me go with the request. So whenever I click on like in whenever I submit something. So this is the one which I have done previously in demo class, I guess. Okay, so see here, this is a request one. Okay, so this is like an approved, and there is a RATMs also will be generated. So depending on like in the number of items which we did it, and the RATMs will come up. And here we have a state: open, work in progress, close complete, close incomplete, and close skipped. Okay, so if this is like an approved, that is like an approvers. Okay, so if it is like an approved, and task will be generated, and task, if I open the task, see here the state is there. So if it is like in closed complete, okay, so then whatever the request was there from like an the caller or as a respective person who writes the request, that will be like in resolve. If I request something laptop or something, that will be delivered. Okay, so that's how it will be. Okay, so this is what something which we work with like an incident, problem, change, and the request as well. Okay, so these RATM stuff, the catalog item, creating a request, RATM and SC task and everything, which we will discuss later as well in catalog items. Okay, and in workflows as well. So there we will understand thoroughly about like in this concept, how the request flow is created, how our ATMs is generated, and how the SC task will be generated. Okay, so how the approvals which we are going to trigger, notifications also which we can add over there, everything which we'll discuss. Okay, so that's all about like an incident, problem, change, and request, and the life cycles of these things. Okay, so now you just focus on like in how incident is created, what it is first. They will ask you what is incident, problem, change, and request as well in interviews too. Just differentiate or else just tell me about like in what is incident and how many ways are there. So they might ask you these questions as well. Just understand this and then try to create like in few incidents and then go ahead with like in life cycle of this. Just check it out like in just how many states are there and all these things and all, then you will be more clear on this concept. Okay, so yeah guys, this is about like in today's class, and now I'll go with your questions, and please bear me for few more minutes as well to clear the questions. Okay, and thank you so much for bearing for such a long time today. Yeah, go with your questions, guys. All clear?
Priyanka, you
Yes.
mentioned about the incident, change, and problem. So the problem and change would have a workflow as well. So would you be taking this in the uh, future classes regarding the workflow, how the record goes on step by step.
Yeah. It's like in, the same thing. See here, there is like in the steps over here, right? Let me go with like in the problem. So we'll go with like in before it was like in new, in progress, and on hold and all this. So here we go with like in access, root cause analysis, fix in progress, and resolved and closed. Okay, so that's how it will be like in one by one, but the team will work on that specific stuff and they will move from like in one state to other state depending on like an issue. So the same thing will happen. So if you want, few more clarity on problem and change and as well, so I can take, but not now. After maybe like an extra class which I'll go with like in Saturdays, right? So there I will plan.
Okay.
Okay, let me know if you want, or else the same thing actually, the same thing which you can go ahead, or else which I can provide you few sources if you want, you can go ahead. I'll ping you
Sure.
regarding this. Okay. Because if you go with like an each and everything, so we are not able to finish like in whole syllabus within like in 2 months. So we do have a lot to learn and a lot to practice as well. So I just giving like in full guidance a way which you can go ahead and which you can understand, and later you can elaborate, later you can upskill by checking with like a lot of stuff internally. I'll guide you, no problem. Any further questions, guys? All clear?
Yes, Priyanka.
Okay. Good then, guys. Thank you for joining today. And tomorrow we'll discuss like with a different concept, and I'm gonna upload this video as well soon. Okay, check the video and let me know if
Priyanka,
you
you
have any
said that
questions.
you have a video like you have explained on how to go through this learning program and all in
Yeah,
service
I'll
now website,
upload
right?
today.
Can you
Yes,
upload?
I do have that. Let me check now only, and we'll do that. There is the video.
Also for
I'll
this
do that. Yeah.
other things like JavaScript and CSS, right? I asked, right? So any suggestion or like
Yeah, let me tell you
from
one
where
thing.
we can
Sure, sure. I was able. We do have like in W3 schools, right? So this is the best way to learn JavaScript, CSS, HTML, whatever the things in what happened. You guys able to hear me?
yes,
Yes.
Priyanka.
Okay.
Yes, Priyanka.
Lost my network. Yeah, good. So this is the best way which I liked a lot actually. W3 schools online, which we do have like a lot, right? So W3 schools, just you see here, W3 schools JavaScript. Okay, just click over here, JavaScript tutorials W3 schools. Okay, so this is the way from starting tutorial to everything which will be there. The introduction to output statements, syntax, variables, and everything. So just go with like in one by one and check it up. Okay, so you'll get like in practice session as well. You can try it up how that looks. Okay, let me share you the link in the chat box. Okay, so you can check this for like in JavaScript. If it is like in CSS and HTML, see here, the next one we have a CSS, and then the first one is like in HTML. So you can start from this and you can try it up. It will make a really very good understanding as well. Okay, so one by one, just go with this and try it up. And there is like in YouTube videos as well for going ahead with this too. So if there is something which is not clear, okay, so I prefer this one because it will be very clear with like in each and every statement will be there and how that works and how that will be like in used. Let's say example C variables. So it will go with like in what is variable and an example how that looks like and everything. Okay, and you can try that as well. just try this one. If you're not clear with like in this thing, and if you want someone is to explain, just go to YouTube and you search with like in anything, just like example, JavaScript tutorials for beginners. Okay, so this you can go ahead, or else you can go with like in if you have Udemy or something else, you can go with like in with that as well. Okay, but anyhow, you should not skip this one. Simultaneously, along with this, you can go with like another sources as well. Another sources in this is nothing but JavaScript, which you can YouTube. You can go with like in JavaScript tutorials for beginners. Okay, so this is what something which you can go. If you want in your regional language also, you can try and you'll get a lot of videos here. Okay, so Udemy also it's fine, so you can go with that as well. If there is like in any other sources which you have, you can try that. But these two are the best sources which you can go. Okay, so while going ahead with these things, if you're not clear with something or if you're not getting something, you can let me know so that which I can clear those stuff as well. No need to worry about like how the scripting and everything. So slowly, which we can start from now and we can go with like in one by one. So that's how which we can learn everything in a single day. Okay, so this is the way which we can go ahead and about like in ServiceNow also I told you, right? docs.servicenow.com. So this is the one which you can go. Let's say example, you need more about like in problem. You need more about like in change, or else you need more details regarding like in request. Okay, if you want to deep dive with like in different uh, concepts as well with a lot of knowledge regarding that, just go to like in docs.servicenow.com. You will get everything with all the versions and all the modules as well, not only one specific step. I have pinged this as well in the chat box. Okay, just let's go. I just need to check on like an in U10. Okay, just give the details. Let's say example instant is like in you are clear, let's say, and problem you are not clear with something. Okay, incident management. Just type it and click on enter, and again give the version over here and search with like in whatever you need. Okay, see problem management U10. And you can check it out like in how that looks and how that works and everything you can work on. And here we do have like an explore, setup, and administrators as well. And then how we are going to use, how we are going to develop, and troubleshooting as well we have. So see, so you can check it up whatever you are lagging and wherever you just need to be strong, then you can utilize these platforms more and more. Okay, and there is a community as well for ServiceNow. So I'll tell you that as about that as well later. Okay, so community is something we have a GitHub and Stack Overflow for like in other programming languages, right? So whereas for ServiceNow we have a community, so that I'll tell you later. Whenever we are discussing about like a scripting part, then I'll go with that and I will tell you about like in how the community works and how we're going to get a help from community whenever we get a requirement. Let's say one requirement I got and that is full I don't know about like in what it is, even not even a single point, then I can get a help from community and I can get some knowledge regarding that, and then I can start my work. So that's how which we can work with. Okay, so no need to worry about like in how the requirement comes and how we are going to work with like in there is a sources for us to work with, and the rest of the things which while working while getting an experience which we will be perfect. Okay, so yeah. Any questions, let me know, please. All good?
Yes, Priyanka.
All good.
Okay. Thank you then, and thank you for bearing as well for like extra half an hour. As it is like the concept is something important and a big one, so we just need to stay back for like a few more minutes. Fine then, guys. Thank you so much for bearing and being in the session, and have a great day. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Priyanka.
Yeah.